Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and today, my weekly college football teams of the week. I thought about a lot of teams: the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Cincinnati Bearcats, the Kentucky Wildcats, and I was going to put all these teams on the list today, but I'm sorry. There's one team that looked at very outstanding and elite this past weekend. It's the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it, as the Georgia Bulldogs are our college football team of the week. What more can I say about the University of Georgia? Number one, there's obviously a point to be made. The Georgia Bulldogs defense is elite, and I mean elite at a high level. I want to take my hats off to Kirby Smart first and foremost. When he took over the job, I think 6 years ago, Georgia was a football program that we knew they was probably top 10 status. But I would say this: where Georgia's at from a recruiting standpoint, talent standpoint, it is very, very high level. And Kirby Smart, kudos to you, man. I know Nick Saban is doing his thing down there in Tuscaloosa. I know he has 7 national championships. But me personally, the second best coach in the country right now, and probably at the end of the year, because I think Georgia's going to have an outstanding chance to win the national championship, it's got to be Kirby Smart. Now let's get to the Bulldogs and the performance on Saturday. I'm going to start with this. Big-time teams, or let me say championship teams, they like the moment. They like the spotlight. And what Georgia did over there before 93,000, ESPN in the house, a national television audience in the house, they were ready to play at a high level. And they didn't do it spreading the football around. They've really done it running the football and playing defense. I want to say old school. Now I'm going to start with their victory. They beat an Arkansas team, school I went to. Last week, I was really giving the Hogs a lot of credit, and I really thought the Hogs had a chance to stay in this football game. But they dominated a football team that had beaten a 15-ranked Texas and put up 330 yards on the ground on Texas, then beat a Texas A&M team that came in ranked number 7 and held them pretty well and dominated that football game on both lines of the scrimmage. But it was no contest in Athens on Saturday. Just to show you how dominant the defense was. This is what championship football is about. When you play defense and you hold a team to 75 yards rushing, 2.9 yards a carry, 95% of the time you're going to win the football game. You had an Arkansas team to 162 yards total offense. But most of all, you held KJ Jefferson, who I had put up on the pedestal. I'm a man to take my medicine today. I thought KJ Jefferson, if he had a Heisman game, I was saying maybe 250 yards, 270 yards, about another 80 yards on the ground. I said maybe we could start mentioning him in the Heisman talk. Didn't happen. That Georgia defense held Mr. Jefferson to 65 yards passing. And I'm going to tell you, he was no factor in the game. Now, this is where this defense, I'm talking about the Bulldogs, are elite. I went to the board last night before I put my show together, and I went to the 2022 NFL Draft Board. And this is what I saw in the first 3 rounds. The first round, Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. You see what I'm saying? Adam Anderson. In the first 25 picks. I don't have to say no more. In the second round, Deron Kendrick. I don't have to say no more. Lewis Sine, second round. So overall, when you have that type of talent, that's why you can hold a team like Arkansas to 162 yards total offense, 2.9 yards rushing on 75 yards, and shut them out 37-0. And when you look at that defense, it brings back memories. Remember, I'm 61 years old, July 17, 1960. And I've seen 2 defenses up close and personal, and one I followed on TV. I'm going to start with this. This Georgia defense reminds me of the 1966 Tennessee State Tigers from a defensive standpoint that I saw up close and personal at 6 years old in Memphis, Tennessee, and Nashville. And on that team, they had a Claude Humphrey. We know about him, played with the Atlanta Falcons, Hall of Famer. A Alvin Coleman that got drafted in the National Football League. A Leon Moore. A Tommy Davis. A Howard Finley Jr. Jimmy Marcellus, who started as a rookie in the Super Bowl IV versus the Minnesota Vikings. And King Dunlap Sr., his son played at Auburn University and played in the National Football League. Then I'm going to move down to the ninth. And the thing, let me back up. With that team right there, they allowed only 51 points that year and had 5 shutouts. And the most important thing, my phone now, I apologize to my audience here at 100 Yards Football. But another thing, with that football team, Tennessee State Tigers, as I said, they had 5 shutouts. Then I moved to the 1979 University of Alabama Crimson Tide. Another special defense. That year, they had 5 shutouts. Only gave up 5.6 points a game. Brian Braggs, Thomas Boyd, E.J. Jr., Robbie Jones, Don McNeil, Mike Pitts, Eddie Lowe, and then the 1991 Washington Huskies. A team that had to split the national championship with the Miami Hurricanes that year. Steve Edman, DeMarco Farr, Brent Collins, Dana Hall, who was a first-round pick of the San Francisco 49ers, Walter Bailey. See, what I'm doing is I'm bringing all these 3 great defenses that I've seen in my lifetime that I consider greatness. And that Bulldogs defense over there, the 2021 version, is in that same class. That's a championship defense. Then I'm going to move to the offense. Stetson Bennett did everything you're supposed to do. Play like a championship quarterback, because you want to know why? He a guy that played no turnover football on Saturday. They make no bad throws. And I need to take another statement back. I had been saying for the last 3 weeks the University of Arkansas had the best offensive line in the country. I think I need to recant that statement today. I think I need to give much love to Justin Schaefer, Warren McClinton, and Jamari Slater. And I think I need to give credit to probably the best running back group in the country. James Cook, Zamir White, Kenny McIntosh, and Kendall Milton. When you rush for 276 yards on 51 attempts, you're averaging almost 5.6 yards a carry. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. That's championship football. That's what we call old school football. That's what back in the day, when you look at all the great players, O.J. Simpson, Tony Dorsett, Jim Brown, the Oklahoma Wishbone with Thomas Lott, Kenny Keene, Billy Sims, the Nebraska offense that had Tommy Frazier, Turner Gill, Mike Rozier, Lawrence Phillips, Armand Green, running the football like that put me in the mind. So that's why I say right now, when you look at the University of Georgia, and I've seen a lot of football over the last 5 weeks. I've seen Iowa that I mentioned earlier. I've seen Alabama, of course, down the road. I've seen Kentucky. Oregon lost this past weekend. But right now, this is the best football team in the country. And they put on the show, like I said, last Saturday. When I look at that team, structure is a lot of special talent on that side of the ball. And I said, take this into account. Their quarterback, JT Daniels, has never really been healthy this year. He went into the Clemson game really hurt. And look at all that pressure that defense had on them going into that football game. They went up against a quarterback who's struggling over at Clemson, DJU. But the previous season, when he filled in for first-round pick Trevor Lawrence, he had 400-some yards on Notre Dame, and he had another 400-yard game against Boston College. And that defense held Clemson to 3 points. This is a very, very special football team with a very, very special defense. Jordan Davis, NFL. Jalen Carter, NFL. Quan Walker, NFL. Nolan Smith, NFL. Adam Anderson, NFL. Kelly Ringo, NFL. Deron Kendrick, NFL. Lewis Klein, NFL. Devontae Wyatt, NFL. This Bulldogs defense, all these guys are going to be playing in the NFL at a high level. And Trayvon Walker, NFL at 6'5", 275. I hope to Dog Nation, to Joseph Taylor, to Paige Bridgman, to Josh Maddox, to Mr. Amos Williams, I really hope y'all close the book this year. Because to me, this is a very, very dominating football team that's very physical on both sides of the ball. And I'm going to go a step further. When you look overall at this football team from a physical standpoint, I don't think that I've seen a team that's balanced on both sides of the ball with so much talent. And I'm going to say this. Even though the quarterback position is maybe not where a lot of people think it is at a national level, but from a talent standpoint and a performance standpoint, in my lifetime, I got to go back. This Georgia team talent-wise, USC, 1972, 1973. Nebraska, 1995. The Miami team of 2001, they had 21 NFL players drafted. This team is special. The Georgia Bulldogs are 2021. And you know what? This 2021 Georgia Bulldogs team is more, I think, more talented than that 2001 Miami team on the defensive line. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they playing like elite guys that's dominating the line of scrimmage. Can I say Randy White, Maryland? Can I say Reggie White, Tennessee? Can I say Alan Page, Notre Dame? Claude Humphrey, Tennessee State. Gary Big Hands Johnson, Grambling. Rich Glover, Nebraska. Steve Edmond, Washington. Bruce Smith, Virginia Tech. Jerome Brown, Miami. David Pollock, 2005 Georgia. Them two gentlemen are dominating the defensive line like all those great guys that played at their schools when they was playing in their college football careers. This Georgia Bulldogs team is very special. And if they able to continue to play at a high level at the line of scrimmage, I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see nobody beating them this year. This is a very special football team that has a lot of special players at every position. And another point I want to bring up, the secondary is playing at a high level, man. And you got to give kudos to Will Muschamp for being on that staff right now. This Dogs defense is up there with the class of all the elite teams I just mentioned. And I'm not going to bag down one word. And I see them getting to the SEC championship game. And if they offense, when they play a better team, can be able to throw the ball a little bit, I don't see nobody beating this football team. They're that special. That's why they're their football team of the week. One more time, let this sink in. They beat a number 8 team that I was calling the Hogs with, who I thought can stay in that football game. 75 yards rushing, 29 carries, 2.5 yards a carry. Held an Arkansas team to 162 yards total offense. And this is an Arkansas team that put 330 on Texas rushing the football. Had 300-some yards in the air against a good Georgia Southern team out of the Sun Belt. And put up 197 yards on Texas A&M. And had a series of explosive plays. Last Saturday, over there in Athens, which is 93 miles from my home where I'm at right now, here in Douglasville, Georgia, that did not happen. So to Dog Nation and to the University of Georgia, you are the Georgia Bulldogs, the team of the week here on our teams of the week in college football here on 2021. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. And my final words, as I always say, I got to go back to the brothers out of California. Their initials are BJ. And they had a song, and the lyrics went like this: stepping out the weekends, open wide, fill it up, let's blast the jams and ride. Everybody take it to the top. We're going to stomp all night. Well, the Georgia Bulldogs stomped all over the Arkansas Razorbacks on Saturday afternoon from 12 noon to 3 p.m., and they stomped all night in Athens, Georgia. And they stomped to the college football world and let everybody know that we might be the best team in the country. Thank you, and God bless. And I give special thanks to my producer, Mr. Jeremiah Long. Thank you for making it happen today. I'm Vincent Turner here on 100 Yards of Football. Have a blessed week.